All right. Let's add an orc to the shelf. I mean Whiplash. Let's add Whiplash to the shelf. Yeah. So if there's one thing that the new Eternia line does very well, it's reimagining characters with just enough of the original base that you can kind of get exactly the original idea remastered in a way. Or you can get a whole new different idea, either complete new creation or based on the original artwork. And that is really cool. This guy looks like an orc. I mean, he does. Now I know that him not as an orc, as Whiplash, is going to be fairly simple and it'll work very well. But I'm going to be honest with you. I might like the new armor gimmicks and whatnot so much that, like, this is one that's probably going to go on the shelf, and I don't want the original version. I think I want the orc-looking man. Let's open it. Whiplash. So, the way you make the classic Whiplash is just to take that off and take that off. It's literally that simple. He'll be classic Whiplash. But, like, I'm looking at him here, and I have, like, no interest in that at all. None. There's some interesting things about him. One, I do like all this armor in general. That's another reason that I'm just going to keep him this way. This does not bother me at all. I do not need a classic Whiplash when he looks this good. Two, his legs, he's the only one I know of so far that he cannot stand up straight. That's almost a cool character idea. Like, he is built in a way that his legs will not allow him to do standing up straight. He always has this little slouch thing going on. That's actually really cool. It's inventive because it allows him to stand out and makes him unique to other figures right off the bat, which is kind of cool. His face, I like this triple tooth thing where he's got the two tusks that kind of go up in his tooth, and then he's got the one that goes down. That's kind of cool. Otherwise, his face is fine. His head doesn't turn all that well. This is what you're seeing. He has, because of his unique body structure, there's certain things that he just cannot do. But it is cool because it actually allows him to be very unique in the way that he is inside of this universe. A couple of things. One, he did come with a helmet, and it is a cool helmet. And when it's on him, he looks awesome. I like this a lot. I like this orc-looking motif that he's got going on. This is really cool. I really, truly enjoy that. He does come with this big spear. It's really orange. I don't know that I dig that, but he does come with it. He comes with this axe. I like that a lot more. He comes with a torch, which is an actual effect, and that's really cool too. You pull that off, and it's just an unlit torch. You put it on, it's now a lit torch. This is actually really cool. I like this a lot. It's just such a little gimmick, but I really do like this a lot. He comes with his two gripping hands, and then, of course, he comes with two punching hands. Very simple. And then the tail. The tail seems to hold a decent enough flex, depending on which way you move it. I don't know if there's a good wire in there or what the idea is, but it holds it. And his back seems like we just plug it in. That was real simple, actually. And there he is. There, he's got the tail. He can kind of keep it low or whatever, and then he can kind of look like there. A mild problem. It is a mild problem, but it does exist. It's worth at least pointing out. His tail makes him very long. So wherever he stands on the shelf, he takes up real space. And space is a real issue when you're talking about anything action figures. And because he is not normal by any means. He is like this big, long thing. We do end up with a little bit of a problem for him in general in terms of storing him onto the shelf, but nothing so big that it can't be dealt with. I'm sure that I will find a place for him and have no real issues for what it's worth. And that is Whiplash. And he is really cool, and I'm going to enjoy being able to use this on different projects and whatnot. Very simple. I don't have way too much to say other than I really like him. The armored look is definitely for me, and I'm digging him. I think they did a really good job of making him unique while at the same time allowing him to very much be, you know, part of the line. He looks like he belongs while at the same time he stands out over so many different figures because he is kind of wild. Like the fact that his legs are the way they are and everything, and the big feet and everything. He's cool. That's a solid figure, man. Not every figure added to the shelf gets a long video. That is simply the truth of it. Some videos really dive into my nostalgia and allow me to talk about a lot of stuff. And some figures are just very cool figures that we add to the shelf. There's not a whole lot to go over here. He is Whiplash, but we've talked about this before. I did not grow up in Masters of the Universe. I got into it as an adult, and so I don't have any nostalgia attached to this guy. I just think he's really cool, and that is the reason I'm putting him on the shelf. Does that break my rule? I've said many times, every item on this shelf has to have a purpose. It has to mean something to me. But I've talked about this before, even if it's only a mild meaning to myself, it still is a meaning. This guy fits multiple criteria. He looks kind of like an orc. He's a cool lizard man. He is MOTU. He's a standout bestial figure. And he will fit both the barbarian motif as well as already fitting into the fact that he is very blatantly Masters of the Universe, and I love the Masterverse line. Yes, he does fit the criteria. He does work on the shelf without necessarily breaking my rules. I just figured I would go ahead and mention it because sometimes when we do these videos, and these videos are short, like a 10 or 12 minute thing, sometimes it seems like maybe there's not a big story here and maybe that breaks the rules. Not necessarily. There are items on this shelf that serve no deeper purpose than the fact that I liked them a whole lot and they fit my collecting criteria. They mean something to me in one way or another, but the meaning doesn't run so deep. That does happen from time to time. Not everything is an absolute top 10 piece. Sometimes we just get a really cool orc-looking man and we put him on the shelf because he's a really cool orc-looking man. And there's really nothing wrong with that. I mean, we did Barbarian Batman. I don't have any ties to Barbarian Batman other than he's cool, he's Batman, he fits my criteria. Sneeze! Whoa. I think that's the end of the video.